And this is the beginning of the first mimer on Megillah Esther, and it's on the pasuk which says that Achashverosh commanded Haman to bring the royal garment and the horse of the king and the royal crown and put it on Mordechai. So we're going to explain what this means spiritually. So we've got three parts: the royal garment, the horse, and the crown. So the royal garment is it says that Hashem clothes himself in royal and in Malchus in order to create the world. And then we have the horse, which represents the letters of Torah, which bring Hashem down into this physical world. And then we have the keser, which it says that at Matan Torah that everyone was received crowns when they said Nasa v'nishma. So to explain, there's a bit of a question: what's greater? And there's two sides of the coin: Torah or mitzvahs. So we're going to explain now how mitzvahs are greater, and that's because Torah is only reaches to Hashem's wisdom. Torah is Hashem's wisdom, whereas mitzvahs connect Hashem as He is beyond the whole chain of worlds, beyond all the regular levels. Hashem's unlimited light. And actually, it's specifically because mitzvahs deal with physical things, the regular chain of effect, how each level of light contracts and contracts to create the next level with less godly energy, it would only work within spiritual forms of life. So one level of spirituality can then create a second level of spirituality. But to go from spiritual to physical, that won't happen through regular evolving from level to level, cause and effect. You need a jump, and that only happens from Hashem as He is beyond worlds. Ohr and Sof, Hashem's unlimited light, which is Seva, which surrounds all worlds. And yes, this is true about all physicality, but normally physical things you don't see how they come from Hashem's unlimited light. But with mitzvahs, it's more evident. And although still there's some level of tzimtzum, but still it remains Hashem's unlimited light. And this is the royal garment that in order to have Malchus, the part of Hashem who is king, meaning that He acknowledges others, because in order to rule over people, they have to be not you and not your family. They have to be others. And so that comes from Malchus, that on one hand, it's a lower level, but the fact that Hashem can acknowledge others and involve Himself even in a physical world, that comes from an even higher level from Sevev. And this is why Torah, within Torah, most of Torah will be bottle. In other words, the Nevim and Tzum will be bottle. Within Nach, the only part that will stay is Megillah Esther, as well as Halacha stays. And that's because halacha discusses the physical and how to use the physical according to Hashem's will, and therefore that comes from a higher level that will still be a level that stands out even after Mashiach comes, whereas the regular prophecies will be will be not noticeable compared to the light of Hashem that we'll have when Mashiach comes. And similarly with Purim, which Megillah Esther, Esther comes from the word concealment. And Esther is the idea of the deepest concealed level of godliness, and therefore the greatest level. And therefore that will be something special even when Mashiach comes. And this is the idea of the crown, which the crown represents the pleasure in us doing physical mitzvahs. Hashem enjoys that, and that's the idea of the crown. On one hand, it's just stones, which is a lower form of existence than people, animals, or even plants. On the other hand, they're precious, and they're something you wear above your head. And that's the idea of Hashem having pleasure from the physical mitzvahs. So now we've explained two out of the three, the garments and the crown.